Hey YouTube, before I get started and I guess little patch rundown or patch notes for today, just want to say real quick, you can find these patch notes on the official TFT Discord. I will be putting the link in the description down below, and you can also follow Morthdog's Twitter. I'll put his what's it called? I'll put his Twitter profile in the description down below, as well as the as well as the link to this tweet. Anyways, so the first big patch for PBE. So let's dive right into it. So, some leveling changes. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are going to be a lot harder to hit. Well, not particularly 5, 6. I mean, like not really 5 or 6, but 7, 8, or 9 is a lot harder to hit. Which is honestly probably a pretty healthy change. Games have been lasting a decent while. If you make it to like top 4 or like even like top 3, you're probably hitting level 9. Unless you rolled and like hyper rolled like crazy. So this is a pretty healthy change. It's been relatively easy still to like hit level 7, level 8, even level 9 at times, so probably healthy. Probably a healthy change. 2 chosen changes. 4 cost chosen can no longer drop at level 6. Probably a really good change because getting a 4 cost chosen at level 6 is probably like a huge power spike. So probably like level 7 onwards you can probably start hitting 4 cost chosen, but the fact that it's no longer able to drop at level 6 is going to be probably good. 5 cost chosen drop rate at level 8 lower dramatically. Probably another really good healthy change. What's it called? Being able to get a free, not free, but like a 2-star 5 cost at level 8 is huge. Another game, I don't think it was on camera. No, it wasn't. But I was able to get a 2-star Lee Sin, no problem. I was able to just put him in my comp relatively easily, cause a 2-star 5 cost is always really good. So there's no reason not to. Balance changes for traits. Assassin got buffed for crit chance by +5 to all. Crit damage got huge buffs. +20 at one cost, 1-star. Or I'm sorry, +20 at 2, +30 at 4, and then +45 at 6. This is really good. Assassins felt a bit weak. I tried to do like Talon. I tried to do a couple games of Talon carry, and you just could not do that much damage. Even when I gave him Infinity Edge to do guaranteed crit damage, to get guaranteed crit chance, it still felt so weak. Even with like 6 assassin, he still felt really weak. So really good changes. Cultist, Galileo, Armor MR down by 5, AD nerf, all 3. Okay, so that's pretty good. Galileo felt fairly strong, and felt a little bit tanky, so that's a pretty good change. Dazzler AD reduction down from 70 to 50. That's really good because Dazzler could like shut down a lot of physical damage. So duelists and assassins got huge, like could not beat Dazzlers. So this is a good nerf. Mage spell AP down at 6 mages, down by 10%. Probably a good change. 6 mages. I don't know if it's enough to tone down the power level, but with assassins being buff, it is possible. Was there anything else that was? Oh shoot, anything else that was buffed? Okay, these are champions. Okay, so like because assassins got buffed, they're more likely to get killed a lot easier. So I think it's not bad. It's not a bad nerf. Let's see, because I think 6 mages was like really strong, and he was like not unkillable, but like such a good tank. Ninja 4 ninja got buffed by 10. I don't know if this is good enough because I tried to do one game of 4 ninja and it just didn't feel that strong. There's gonna be a couple changes up next that'll probably help. That might help with this change, but even then, I don't feel like Ninja is that strong. Maybe they're not intending it to be a strong comp. I don't know. Champions. So maybe I should zoom in. No, that's not. That's not it. Maybe can't. Is this zooming in? I can't really tell. Kind of is, but kind of isn't. I'll just go back. Okay, I'll just beat it. So Diana, buff fix her. So for some of the 1 cost and 2 costs, it was like a buff. There's gonna be some buff fixes. Diana at 1 cost, Gianna, Fresh, Annie, all got the same buff fix where their shields now scaled appropriately with spell power. I guess they didn't for a bit, which is so it's a good a buff fix. I'm surprised for Annie because Annie was like with 6 mages was already like having a huge shield. Now that it's fixed, she'll probably have a bigger shield, so that's insane. Nidalee 1 and 2 star nerf, which is really good. Nidalee felt absurdly strong for 1 or 2 for 1 cost at 1 and 2 star. So these are good changes. Jarvan, he now consistently hits all targets adjacent to him at the end of his dash, at the end of his ult, so that's good. Lulu, 3-star buff, plus 50. I mean, I guess some people are probably hyper rolling Lulu in the 6 mage or yeah, I like 6 mage comp, so I guess it's not bad for extra HP. Silas gained dirty starting mana and got buff 2, 3, and 4-star. So that's pretty good. He's now able to ult a bit more. Getting off that what's it called? Getting off that mana, what's it called? The mana shroud is really good. Teemo got a 3-star buff from 100 to 140. Maybe they just forgot to give Teemo a better 3-star buff because it was stuck at 100, so that seems fine. Kennen got a fairly decent spell damage buff, but in return, Kennen's spell stun duration dropped from 2 seconds to 1.5 seconds. Probably a good change, although a lot of people will remember Kennen from set 1 being mostly like a really good AoE CC, so we'll see. Maybe 3-star Kennen will actually maybe like start hitting a lot harder with the 4 ninja buff or something. We'll see. Kindred got spell damage buff for 1, 2, and 3-star. That's really good. I tried to do a Kindred carry. She did not feel that powerful, so this will definitely help. Ari got fairly nerfed. I think I fought like against like one. I think I've only fought against like one Ari, and wow, her ult is her ult was insane, and the fact that she was a mage was already insane. So that's a good nerf. Morgana's spell no longer reduces MR by a flat value per tick. It now reduces enemies' MR by 40% as long as they're inside it. So it's like so instead of constantly reducing magic resistance when they're inside her spell, now it's just a flat 40%. So that's pretty good. It's kind of like having an ionic spark in there, which is good. Just shredding magic resistance with a really strong ulti. When people were stacking like AP spell power items on her, it was insane. So that's really good. And her spell damage also got slightly nerfed at 50 shaved off at 1 and 2 stars. So that's good. Riven buff fix with the shield now scaling with spell power. But because of that, I don't know. I haven't really seen that many Rivens being played. Maybe because like her 2 traits are kind of weird, Dusk and I think Keeper. So I didn't really see her much play, but she still got a spell shield nerf. I don't know. I haven't tried Riven yet, so who knows. Shen armor down by 10 and spell shield down at 1 and 2 star by 100. That's probably pretty good change. Shen was like a fairly good tank at 4 as a 4 cost, even though he didn't technically have like Vanguard I mean, he was a mystic, but not even like a Vanguard or Brawler, so that's pretty good. Warwick spell attack speed down at 1 and 2 star. That's really good. If you guys saw, please go check out my 3-star Warwick video. Probably one of the greatest videos I've probably ever made for TFT. But anyways, yeah, Warwick is such a strong freaking champion for 4 costs. Like having him at 2-star, he can just shred through people. Insane, especially with the divine trait. So that's a really good nerf. Last but not least, 5 costs. Azir. The soldiers are down by 50, so that's gonna, even scaling with star level for like 2 costs Azir, 2-star Azir, that's not bad. The soldiers are actually pretty good. Nice little walls that could just tank damage. And like stall a little bit of the fight, so that's pretty good. Ezreal armor down by 5, spell damage nerfed by 100 and 1 and 2 star. And the ally attack speed buff down from 7 seconds to 5 seconds. That's really good. Ezreal's spell felt like it did a little bit too much damage for mainly being like a support 5-star. So that's pretty good. I'm glad they lowered it. Kane shadow form damage up by 10%, and the duration is now from 6 to 10 seconds. Pretty good buffs. Kane felt kind of weak, even though you almost always chose red Kane. It still felt fairly weak. So he still felt fairly weak, so that's good. Lilia sleep duration down from 4 to 3.5 seconds. Not a bad nerf. I feel like 3 seconds wouldn't be too bad. Maybe it'd be too much. I don't know. But it felt like Lilia having such a fairly strong and long CC seemed a bit much. You know, she has a 5 cost, but we'll see. Set armor down from 80 to 60. That's pretty good. Set is just an amazing champion, but he's surprisingly super tanky for a brawler. You know, he has a 5 cost and he can heal. It's a bit too much, so making him a little bit more weaker and be more vulnerable is probably good. Yone HP down by 50, attack speed down by 0.05, and knockup duration down by 0.5 seconds. So fairly good nerfs. I didn't feel like Yone was, compared to like the power level of some of the other champs like Set and Lee Sin, he didn't feel too insane, but he still felt fairly strong with his ulti. So good changes. Items. Gargoyle Stoneplate down by 5 armor and MR. This is a really good change. Gargoyle Stoneplate just was so strong in terms of letting, not so strong, but it allowed your tanks to be even more tankier, and it felt like they couldn't die. You put this on like a top, like on an early top Kench or Garen, they felt like they were invincible. It was insane. So that's a good change. Even for like some of the later tanks like Warwick or Aatrox or Sejuani, just a little bit strong. Giant Slayer, 20 and 80% change to 10 to 90% bonus damage. I think this is pretty good change overall. It just means you can't just slam Giant Slayer early game and hope for it to carry you a lot in terms of damage. But in the late game, it scales really well because in this set, everyone's hyper rolling like crazy. Not crazy, but like, it's a lot easier to get 3 stars, so pretty good change overall. Quicksilver buff from 10 to 12 second duration, so pretty good. This set has a lot of CC. Both in terms of ultis and like traits wise. So this is a pretty good change. Spirit Shoji down from 8 to 5 mana per auto. I don't know about this change. The data probably supports it, but I don't feel like Shojin is that strong. It feels like almost always you'd rather run blue buff than Shojin. I've run Shojin a few times. It just feels so much weaker than blue buff. I don't know. We'll see. Couple bug fixes. Nunu no longer eats units for GA/Zillion ult shields. I didn't know this was a thing until like I heard about it, so I'm glad they fixed that. XL2 lifesteal amount now shows the power amount 80%. Now it's always been 80%. The tooltip was just wrong. So it showed 50% in the tooltip, but it was always 80. So That's good. Diana no longer stuns her target when triggering their Trap Claw. So I guess Trap Claw didn't work against Diana, and it worked like the opposite. Instead of stunning Diana, Diana stunned them, which was good. Good bug fix. Um, yeah, thank you everyone so much for watching. Pretty significant changes. If you have any questions, go to what's it called? I mean, you could also try asking me. I might be able to help, but go maybe ask Mort Dog. You can add him on Twitter or something. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Take care.